Slam Picks Cruise Control Episode 6. Right back here on the Biggie TMD. Welcome back, guys. Another week is come and gone in 205 Live. Right here on the Biggie TMD. Once again, I am Travis from Slam Picks Podcast. Follow me on Twitter at the Biggie TMD. And as always, my man, my co-host for all of these cruise controls. Once again, back in the fold. It's not Too Cold Scorpio. It's Logan Myers himself. What's going on, bud?
It's been a great day. 205 Live was awesome on Tuesday. We got a lot to go through tonight. But first things first, check me out on Twitter at Logan Myers 144. Travis, where can they check you out, though?
Well, I did just say that before I threw it to you. Maybe you were too excited, but I can get more excited for you because officially things are coming together for future wrestling podcasts. As you guys are looking at the new logo for you guys right now, so it's coming. What, in a week or so, Logan? You and Maniac Matt from Union Smack are going to get down and dirty on that.
Yes, sir. We have a lot to talk about. Shout out to Jim Cornette for retweeting me on Twitter. That was pretty cool.
Really? You didn't even tell me that, you bastard. How do you not tell me that? What did he retweet out?
I did tell you that. Did it slip your mind?
You did not tell me that. When was that?
I made a meme about the Jim Cornette receiving a.
Well, there it is, because you make a million fucking memes a day, and you are a literal meme factory, and I can't keep up, so that's probably exactly why I didn't see it. Probably glossed over it. You guys should have seen it this week. You guys should have seen it when Enzo and Cass broke up the next day. Logan literally made like 18 memes of fucking Enzo Amore in like 2 minutes. It was phenomenal work, Logan. I gotta say. Good.
Oh. Well, I made a meme today with the restraining order that Vince Russo decided to file against Jim Cornette for allegedly stalking. And it let me pull it up real quick so I can tell you exactly what I said on it. It's always something. Always got to find it.
The alleged stalking.
I find it funny, don't you, Travis? That
I find it fucking pathetic. I find it pathetic. As a man, Vince Russo would take another man's name into slander type territory for stalking online. Like, it's fucking freedom of speech. Come on, Vince Russo. And like, most of what Cornette says is true. Like, Vince Russo was a terrible booker for the most part. Not all the time. But it's not like Jim Cornette's making things up about Vince Russo for the most part, you know?
Well, I find that funny that you said that, because on the actual filed protection order, it says, I am or have been a victim of stalking. Well, my meme says, I am or have been a victim of Jim Cornette telling the truth, not stalking.
Which, in itself, let's be honest, Jim Cornette's got caught in a fib or two. All these guys are fucking workers. You know what I mean, Logan? Like, all these shoot interviews, you gotta remember, at the end of the day, they're all workers. They need to make a buck. I just watched a Honky Tonk Man shoot today, one of his newer ones. You seen him lately? He looks like broken Matt Hardy's dad because he's incorporated the blonde streak into his hair. And it looks ridiculous, but it's between like him and King Kong Bundy. And like you could tell like Honky Tonk Man got caught up in lies and stuff. So, and yes, I've seen the clips where Jim Cornette contradicts himself, and I'm not gonna, I love Cornette, but I'm not gonna defend him lying. He did do it. But it is what it is. There's always drama with those two, isn't there?
No, to me, there's always going to be drama. There's always going to be something when it comes down to it.
Logan, I do want to make one. Sorry, I cut you off. You can say what you're going to say, because this pertaining to actual Slam Pigs on Sundays. The main show. I don't know if it's going to take place with Michael this week. He's moving this week, guys. So I've been scrambling around, pulling some strings together. I'm not going to spill any beans just yet, but if Michael doesn't make it this Sunday, got something in the works, guys. Look forward to checking it out this week. And Logan, also, one more thing. This is just hot off the presses we can talk about, because I don't know if I'll get a chance to talk about it with Michael anyway, so I'll talk about it with you. Morrow is back.
I actually was the one that messaged you and like
Well,
really
I
excited,
saw
really
it before
happy
you
about
messaged
it.
me. Yeah, I saw it like literally 5 minutes before you messaged me.
Well, I had to message you. You were the first person I thought of. I was like, he knows that was one of my favorite commentators.
He's gonna get
By all
harassed by
means,
it's Showtime
yes,
Percy watching. He's
tomorrow.
gonna like poke him with a stick and be a dick to him. Now is that gonna be his bully? Like I can't picture
That'll be
Nigel doing
replaced.
it because he's a British gentleman. Maybe Nigel could pick on him. I don't know. But Morrow is back, calling NXT exclusively. Logan. I would rather see him more on a two. I think 205 needs him way more, and we're gonna get into it this week with the new lead announcer for 205 Live, Vic Grimes,
Joseph,
whatever his name is.
Vic Joseph.
Yeah, I know. But yeah, Logan, are you happy to see Morrow back? I know you are because you said it in all caps in the tweet. You said Morrow.
Yes, I was really excited to know that he was back. I I read a couple people. I've read the comments on the social media and some of the wrestling reports, and a lot of people were saying this actually might be a better fit for Morrow in the long run. And at the end of the day, Triple H tends to pull things together.
Do you? I see. I think Tom Phillips gets a lot of criticism that's not warranted because I enjoy Tom Phillips. And I don't think he's as bad as people say he is. This could be a case of them giving him a break. Maybe they don't want to push him too much because he is the lead announcer on SmackDown. I think he does a great job. Just like they gave, it seems like they're giving Graves a break more. Um, I, I I think 205 could use him a hell of a lot more than an NXT because I think Tom Phillips is just fine. That's my 2 cents. But I'm happy either way. Like Morrow and NXT is like peanut butter and jelly. I just like to spread the goodness all around and not put it in, like all in one shot. Like I feel like if it's not broke down, don't fix it. Nobody's complaining about Tom Phillips as the announcer in NXT. I haven't heard any complaints.
See, it's kind of hard to hate somebody because at the end of the day, Tom Phillips isn't that bad. We've seen worse. We've
It's the
seen worse
things he does
commentators.
outside of the ring, like face fucking and getting caught cheating on your girlfriend with. Oh, that's a whole other thing. That's why people shit on Tom Phillips.
Well, he ain't getting any of JoJo. Hint, follow the buzzards.
Yeah, but yeah, Morrow is back, and we'll see. We'll see. When is he expected to start? Did they announce that with him?
This Friday's tapings, he will be there. Now that he's back, I wonder if he will call the action for the women's tournament with JR. I don't know if it will happen because that might be, it'd be awesome to hear both of them together, but you kind of might be hearing like the same version of each other because they're kind of similar.
Yeah, it's a little too much. You need a balance there. A little. You need color analysts are highly underrated. Well, let's get right into it,
No,
Logan.
and
Anything you want to talk about before we get into this week's show, episode of 205 Live?
well, I do have an announcement for everybody that there will be a new segment coming soon to Cruise Control, where it's cruising down memory lane, where me and Travis will go and talk about one match in the cruiserweight division from back in the day. I don't care if it's WCW or WWE. Just be good to mix the things up a little bit.
Do
Maybe
you
talk
have
about.
one for this week? Because I didn't. I totally forgot about this segment. Because I can name the moment, the very first time I ever saw like a cruiserweight action or lucha libre, where like it blew my mind as a young guy, as a young lad.
Was WCW when Rey Mysterio wore the purple outfit against Eddie Guerrero.
Hmm. That may be like literally that match you just mentioned, like top five WCW matches of all time, bar none. And I'm not a big lucha fan, and that speaks to how good that match was. It told a hell of a story. Hell of a story. Eddie Guerrero was a tremendous heel in that match. The match I'm talking about, Logan, do you want me to save for next week? Do you want to talk about that Halloween Havoc match you just brought up this week? Because I remember that like it was yesterday. I don't even need to look
Go
back.
ahead. Go ahead. We can talk about that. And we can go ahead and talk about something different
It,
next week. Let's
for
go.
me, this felt like kind of in WCW at least, kind of a blow off for these two to be taken in a serious feud because after this match, it got silly. The LWO stuff happened, remember? And then I think the only time I remember these two guys feuding after it seemed like they feuded forever and like 2 years at least, a year and a half, whatever, before this match seemed like the end. And then it was LWO. Is Rey Mysterio going to join? He did join for a while, and then shenanigans, and then of course Rey unmasked and Filthy Animals and Eddie left. But this seemed like my God, to do this match justice, Logan. You know what I'm saying? To describe it, we really can't. We can tell people what it meant to us at the time. Holy shit, this was in the fall of '97 when WCW was flat out dominating. And I think and it's been said time and time again, and it's just what you can't talk about WCW cruiserweights without this statement coming up, in my opinion, where like that the cruiserweights never got the shine a lot more over the NWO angles and stuff, and that could have helped benefit WCW more, as where the NWO angle just it killed WCW from the inside out because that's what they always relied on. It got boring.
WCW.
And we've heard that from a million guys. Jericho, so many guys that were there have said that. They didn't take the cruiserweight division seriously enough. It's like they did in the very beginning, like that first year with Ultimo Dragon, Dean Malenko, Eddie Guerrero. The names, the fucking staples of that division. Not like Lash LaRue and later on what it became. But you know what I'm saying, Logan. The guys when you put in the N64 game, they're on there. Those guys, your La Parkas, Psychosis is very overlooked as a guy that helped set the benchmark for that division. But the match, what I remember I loved about this match the most was the heel psychology. You know what I'm talking about. Eddie Guerrero ripping that costume to shreds. Pretty much seeing Ray's whole face by the end of it was awesome. It reminded me of the Great Muta versus Liger, which I talk about all the time. And guys, if you've never seen that match, it's great. Liger actually gets his mask ripped off in that match. And this is what that reminded me of. It makes me think that maybe they took a nod or vice versa, because I don't know which one happened first, but it seemed a lot of borrowing was done. What did you think of this match since you brought it up, Logan?
I think Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio match. I think that's what WWE really wanted when. I know I'm trying to talk about that match, but later down the road when they wanted to utilize the two Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio, they looked at that match was like, this is money for us now, like it was back then.
Right. Yeah, when they had them, you would say their prime years were when they were finally with WWE. They matured as performers. Yeah. Mysterio had gone completely full circle because he came to WWE obviously with the mask again. You know what I mean? So yeah, I would, and I wouldn't say I don't know if their better feuds were in WWE because for God's sakes they had the custody of a child above a ladder in WWE, but at least that was a good ladder match,
Anyway, I mean, it was definitely a great ladder match. It was definitely a great feud. I think Eddie Guerrero and Rey Mysterio is you can almost say that was one of the best feuds ever. One of the best feuds.
It was always
one of the
favorite.
Best underrated feuds.
It was always my favorite when it came to WWE, and they played off in the angle that Eddie Guerrero never beat Rey Mysterio, which is so untrue. I mean, he's beaten him on many tags in WCW. Like I don't know. There's a lot of plot holes in wrestling, obviously, but I think the match with these two guys at WrestleMania 21, a lot of people seem to love that match. That is a match that we talk about all the time. Like when we watch matches now when we're adults, opposed to how when we were kids, Logan, we didn't analyze it. We just enjoyed it. The thing that bugs me about that match, Rey Mysterio literally in that match fucks with his mask like every 5 seconds. Go back and count, and it really distracts me and takes away from enjoying that match for me. The match isn't sloppy; it's just he just keeps messing with his mask.
I do remember that it was like every time he took a bump, anything that he had to mess with the mask. Yeah. And I wondered if it was something to do with that mask that was messed up, or what.
Yeah, it was a weird. You know how it's sometimes. He always had special ordered costumes for Mania, and this seemed like the start of that, where it would become a problem. Where the back sometimes would be see through. It was like a net. He'd have those special. It was like that, but it had like Velcro, and I think the Velcro was the issue in that match. But anyway, on to the good match that we're actually talking about. Yeah, I mean, maybe one of Mysterio's best costumes ever. I really liked it. It was awesome. Just the whole full body suit of it.
They have it the wrestling figure of that costume, and I'm trying to find that one. That'd be a nice figure to have
Hey,
as
you know
well.
what? Very good segue. Shout out to our boy Bobby B Wrestling, our good buddy, all the way over in Ireland. Big fan,
Hey,
big
look.
listener of the show, big time collector. Maybe he has that one. Maybe he has, and he'll do a special little video for you, Logan. Who knows?
That'd be awesome.
What would you rate this match grade wise at the end of the day?
Oh, at the end of the day, definitely 10. If we're going, 1 to 10, definitely. If I wanted to, if I wanted to rate it, it's definitely an A plus. Definitely.
You know, it's really crazy. Like doing all these wrestling podcasts for well over a year, that this match has never came up on any show I think I've ever done. Like it took this long, and I would say like to anyone that doesn't have the WWE Network, if you're considering getting it, when you do get it, this should be like one of your go-tos you should check out if you've never seen it. Like I said, we really can't do this match justice. Hell of a way to kick off your new segment. Like you set the bar. I got a hell of a bar to reach. Mine does involve Mysterio next week. A little sneak peek for next week. My segment, looking back, cruising back. I don't even have a fucking name for it. We'll figure one out. Mine was the first time I ever saw Rey Mysterio was at Bash at the Beach '96. It kicked off the most infamous pay-per-view in WCW history. The first pay-per-view my parents ever ordered because it was that crazy at the time. That speaks a lot because my parents didn't like WCW ever until like this show. But it was him versus Psychosis, the first time I ever saw a cruiserweight match, and I remember the VHS. I almost played the tape out because as a 12-year-old kid, I love this match so much. I don't know what it is. But check out that next week on episode 7. But Logan, let's this shouldn't be depressing, but it's depressing me a little bit now to think about current cruiserweights after talking about that match. And it's not like the guys now suck. It's just that those are like the glory years of cruiserweight wrestling.
Well, that's why I like to call it cruising down memory lane, because I think that's just, it clicks.
Silly me.
I love that.
I'm such an idiot. You even said the name of the show. That segue. But go ahead, Logan. This week's episode of 205 Live, it kicked off. What did it kick off with this week?
It actually kicked off with, no, actually, hang on, see, I had a couple of the other
It was
segments.
Titus backstage again, wasn't it, with Rich Swann, like coaching them?
Yes, they had.
Did he not shoo away Rich Swann? Was he basically like, "Get the fuck out of here, Rich Swann," in so many words, and he just left? Like, he didn't even stand up to him. Rich Swann just left. Like, okay. Pretty much more of the same.
No, I remember it was Titus O'Neil saying that he could be the next guy to join the Titus brand, and which kind of made me laugh because you mentioned it. I think last week on the Cruise Control that Rich Swann will be the next person he goes to.
Yeah, they're
and look what
happened again. Everyone's gonna assume,
Are they watching this video? Are they listening to us? Because I swear sometimes I feel like they're taking notes and actually doing what we say.
You got a huge pop this week. You sent me you were really excited on Twitter. Booker T said Cruise Control on on a pre-show, and you were like, "Oh my god!"
And it wasn't even mentioning us. It was just random. I was like, "Oh shit!"
Booker T's listening to you right now, Logan. You inspire him.
Can you dig it, sucker?
No. It was pretty much the promo is basically more the same line. It was like it's like they just put in the same one. I didn't, except for a few words in what Titus said. It was pretty much delivered the same. It looked the same backstage.
Yeah, you know how they were getting the lights ready for 205 and getting everything set up for
stalling for time.
And
that's a big problem. Yep. It's why are you doing? It's like you're shooting yourselves in the foot. You're taking away from the show by rushing around. It's just, and we're 6 episodes in, and we say it all the time. We're not going to do it again, but it's just like, move it to Full Sail, move it somewhere else. It doesn't need to be after SmackDown. And I know financially that's why they do it. It's less on travel expenses, but god damn, it's just your crowd's so fucking deflated. These shows, but give the guys credit. By the end of the show, which was a tremendous match, the crowd was on their feet. They definitely were invested in that match. But yes, pop, boom, bam, fireworks or whatever. The crowd mildly not even as a word for it. The crowd barely when these 205 Live shit. They're like, yay. Like, it shoots to Vic Joseph and Corey Graves. Now, Vic Joseph has a funny smile. This is what I was going to bring up earlier, and I saw a meme, and it's never going to leave my mind, Logan. I can never, like, I praised Vic last week.
You never sent me this meme.
I don't want to ruin Vic for you, I think. That's why I didn't do it. Because I know you think he's doing an okay job. So I don't want to ruin your experience. So if you stumble across the meme, I'm going to let it be on your own.
He isn't bad. I like him. I think it's a mix, mixing things up, I guess.
Do they have to have the exact same fucking haircut? Like, it makes him look like his little brother or cousin, or like he's like, come on, kid, you can do it. Be the best announcer you can. Like, I don't know. Like, it's exactly this. At least his isn't crooked like Corey Graves, I guess. You know what I mean?
I think they bounce off each other pretty well on commentary. Even though yeah, you say they kind of look like brothers, and
I don't know, man. But let's get to some in-ring action. Speaking of Union Smack, who did we see return this week to in-ring action? None other than the gentleman himself, Mr. Jack Gallagher, going against one of your guys, the premier athlete, Tony Nese. At least he took away neon green out of his outfit this week. It looked better with the sky blue, I gotta say. I don't think you're a big fan of this match, though.
Now let me say it was a decent match. I was hoping for a little bit more out of this match. The ending was good, but not the best. Listen, Tony Nese is a brute. He's a big guy compared to most of the guys on 205 Live, and I don't think he needs to cheat and act injured to win. To me, that at the end of the day, he's bigger than most of them, and he shouldn't have to be booked to cheat to win as a heel. I think he could go by it in a different way.
It was really weird for me when I saw the finish. At first, I liked it. I like with the sneaky, and then the more I thought about it after watching it, I was like, this makes no fucking sense because even it looked good. He sold it tremendously. He hit that post hard. So for him to just get up, like when you play possum or something like that, it's usually not from a goddamn post shot. Or so it's like a guy'll do that, like he'll pretend to land awkwardly on his knee and he'll sell the knee. If you legit take a chair shot to the head and you're laying on the ground and you just stand up like, oh, I was really okay, and you roll him up, you're kind of pulling the curtain back and saying, hey, fuck kayfabe, my shoulder was never hurt. You know what I'm saying? So the more I thought about it, I was like, man, this finish was fucking stupid. I was like, who came up with this? You know what I mean? I don't know. Was it me?
Do you agree with me on the fact that he's too big of a guy compared to a Jack to even have to cheat to win?
Usually a guy that plays possum in a babyface essence, a Bret Hart. It was like a Bret Hart, not a small guy, but not a huge guy. Just, with a heel, it's more of a guy like an Edge, not a huge guy, a guy that needs to rely on that, and you're exactly right. If your body's that equipped and like well built that you can take a post shot and you'll be okay, then just take the post shot and stand up and fucking clothesline him. Don't bother playing possum. Because then what? You know what made it even stupider? He didn't win it on a roll up. What did he do? He simply won this match on a running knee to the corner, which looked good, but compared to that post shot, it didn't look as devastating. And that's why the more I was just like, I'm lost, and this was dumb. I don't know what agent came up with that. I don't know who booked this. I don't know if it was Tony Nese coming up with shit on the fly. And if he did, I don't know. Did you think he would have got bitched at by the agents backstage for that finish? Because that finish canceled everything out. It's like everything canceled each other out, and it was just head scratching. And I don't know. It was weird. I don't think the match was bad. They are doing this. Good. Good.
So basically, you're trying to say is you think if he takes that shot to the turnbuckle that he should come back and do a Roman Reigns and just Superman punch him, basically. You
may as well.
I'm not trying to.
I'm
not trying to change the subject, but that's one thing I hate about Roman Reigns is he'll take like the buckle bomb from Seth Rollins and then hit a Samoa, the Superman punch. It's just like, really?
But see, okay, Roman Reigns, and I don't want to be cliche, but right now, Especially, did you see the little ratings boost? And they're crediting that to Roman coming back this week. Raw was up for once. He is the actual guy, whether people like it or not. And it's like, if you go back and let's go back, you and me, and we pop in WrestleMania fucking 3. It's not like we go back and complain about Hulk Hogan hulking up. You know what I'm saying? Nobody goes back and watches those classic Hogan. I mean, they do. You can't. People do, but it's just like to take out Hulk Hogan's hulking up, you'd be taking out so much of that Hulk character at the time. And it's like in this promotion, WWF, WWF, and WWE, whatever form has always been a babyface promotion. And it's like they've always had a guy like that at the top who's a babyface. Look at Cena. It seems like Roman does it more, I would say, Logan, than Cena did. Cena just had a sneakier way of kicking out of everything. I think, and that shows the difference in Cena and Roman. I think Cena's better in that aspect. Roman just comes off so Hulk Hogan 1980s with the outkick out of everything. But I think he gets a pass right now because it's just that's what WWE does. You know what I mean? It's to be expected. We've experienced it with Cena for 12 fucking years plus. So it's not shocking breaking news. It does for people that don't like it. The frustration is but it's like people can't go back and watch the Hogan match and be like, well, I love Hulk and Andre, but then they can't complain about Roman Reigns, but at least the in ring is better now, I guess, with Reigns than a Hogan match.
Well, to me, that's the thing about Tony Nese. To me, he didn't need to cheat. Plain and simple. He didn't need to.
Yeah.
He comes off as a guy that can dominate a match and win without doing something like that. And I guess that's what irritated me with the match, and that's why I guess I wasn't a fan of it.
What did you think? I wanted to get your 2 cents on this spot, and then we'll move on from the match. With Tony Nese doing like that sit-up thing, but he's kicking Gallagher in the corner. What did you think of that? Was it hokey to you, or did you like it?
It was different. I don't know. It's just something.
You know who's the biggest star in this whole match was Corey Graves. He was killer on commentary in this match. I even pointed that out in my notes.
To me, he's hilarious, especially when he was working with Byron. Especially when he said the sex doll joke, the blow up doll.
Yeah, Corey Graves really is like firing on all cylinders right now. He's nailing it. He just gets better every week, and you can tell he's studying. He takes his craft seriously. But this was on the format on our list. It was in the title of the video. This was something you want to talk about. The future of Jack Gallagher. Now, what do you do? We did see him backstage with Austin Aries. This was a nice little thing with Aries interrupting him, throwing a towel. I didn't hate this backstage thing. I thought it was actually entertaining too. With the we have an accord. I thought it was funny. What did you think?
I enjoyed the segment. It killed time. It was decent. I think you didn't. To me, yeah, you need some backstage things on 205 Live. I get that. I understand it. But sometimes maybe you could give them a couple more minutes just to do something in the ring. Maybe that's why I was kind of irritated with the Tony Nese match.
Yeah, they gave that Nese match 7-8 minutes, if that.
And they could have used those minutes that they gave that segment in the ring, in my opinion.
And I get why they're doing these. They're finding a way to keep all scenarios relevant. You know what I mean? At least they're trying to keep. Hey, shout out to Rad Zero in the chat. He says we saw dives on WCW Monday Nitro on a weekly basis with the cruiserweights. Good times. It was way more special back then because you only saw dives in the cruiserweight division by far. You didn't really see Scott Norton taking a big dive out in every match. Yeah, go ahead, Logan. I just wanted to check out the chat. I'm glad I did.
But booking Jack Gallagher, let me explain this. Okay. For example, for Jack, 1, he's got great and likable gimmick, right? 2, decent mic skills. He isn't bad on the mic. I actually enjoy him. And 3, he has a strong reaction. How is it hard to book a guy with those 3 examples of Jack? How can you not push him in a way that many are being pushed? I've stated before that Cedric Alexander should be the next challenger after Akira Tozawa.
They don't know how to push a guy like Jack Gallagher. They don't know how to push a guy. For one, he's foreign. They don't know how to push foreign people with their track record, especially at least until the past year or so with Asuka, with the UK division. And also, look at him. Look at him. You know, Vince backstage looks at that guy and asks if he's literally just out of high school. You know what I mean? He doesn't have that look that we're used to seeing in this company, but times have changed, and I think it's time to break that fucking mold with a guy like Jack Gallagher. You know what I would love to see, and a lot of people can disagree. This has been one of my favorite guys for a long time. I could see him with an IC title run on Raw. Could you picture that as a babyface?
I can picture a lot of things with Jack. See, and this is why I mentioned those three examples. Cedric is missing one of those examples, and he's missing the strong reaction. He hasn't been getting the best reaction since he's returned.
Right.
And I think Jack gets a better reaction when he comes out.
Jack also got
than
spots.
Cedric.
Jack also got a huge spot in the Rumble this year with the umbrella, which that's another thing. If I brought him on the main roster and put him in the IC division, I would take the umbrella away. It's not needed. I would just put him in like a nice little suit like Cesaro had or something, and like a little bowler hat. Just make him a gentleman. Don't give him like fucking Mary. Don't stereotype it. Not every Englishman has a fucking umbrella. If he's a gentleman though, you can wear a suit every day. You know, it's just like they can't help
I
themselves
agree.
gookiness sometimes. You know. But anyway,
I could see him sing The Miz down the line for the Intercontinental Champion.
he just less mic time for me. I'm not as big on his promos as you are at all. I'm really not. I think less is like this week. This week they gave him less, and it was more. He only had to say a couple lines, and it was what he said was funny. It got a laugh out of me.
Well, that's the thing is, I think he's give him credit. I think he's decent. He isn't. When I
There's
listen to
worse.
Jack talk, it's not as bad as I
There's
guess what
definitely
other
worse.
people may think.
Yeah, there's definitely worse in the company than Jack Gallagher, though. I will agree with that. Logan, at this point, after this backstage vignette, where do we go from here on this week's show?
Well, we went from oh crap. See, I had to go up from my notes. Sorry. We went before the match. We had the promo video for the Mustafa Ali and Drew Gulak match. And before you say anything, Travis, I loved this segment, that little that video they played.
I did too.
I
really enjoyed it. I agree.
It really hyped me for the match. Like I was like, oh, okay.
Better.
I really want to see this match now.
Yeah. Possibly better than the match. The match wasn't bad. It had like that awesome dive I've never seen before by Ali at the like beginning. Like it was like a corkscrew turn, fucking weird name thing. I don't know.
That main thing, Travis.
Yeah, hashtag weird name thing. Yeah, the match was. I've seen them have better. I thought their previous match was better. The main they've got to change Gulak's Titantron. They've got to. Maybe the music too. It just doesn't fit anymore. That bugs me. But that's not killing his character. It's just little picky things. They have to get on that. But Logan, what did you think of the match?
I thought Mustafa Ali was very talented in this match. His high flying moves, like you said in the beginning. I even jotted this down on my notes that corkscrew spitty thingy that Travis decided to say, it got a pop out of me. I actually enjoyed seeing that move. Like, and that's remember a couple weeks ago when I said at the end of the day I want to see Mustafa Ali do some like all kinds of crazy high flying moves and just destroy Drew Gulak.
And at the end of the day, he won this match with wrestling, which was the
yes.
And you kind of saw that coming, but sometimes seeing it coming's okay, and it fit, and it was well done. I didn't hate on it.
I think this has been one of the best intense feuds on 205 Live. I think this feud is a hell of a lot better than.
Did you say tete? What did you do? Did you yawn while you were talking?
No.
Did you say tete? That was weird. Continue. It's late.
Sorry, it's very late. It's very intense feud, and I think it's 10 times better than the Brian Kendrick match with Tozawa. And this is a very good story. And this is what I love about 205 Live. Simple storytelling can be very entertaining. And I think Mustafa Ali, when he won via the roll up, this match was okay. Something was missing in this match, I think. Again, something just, I don't know what.
Yeah, I agree. I agree.
When I was
do
jotting
you
down
think?
my notes,
I don't know if Gulak. See what I would have done. This is what I would have done. This is what I wanted to see. I was fine with the finish. Excuse me. I just wanted Gulak to do what he did like 2 weeks ago. I wanted Gulak, instead of being upset, I wanted him to look happy and proud of Ali, and then Ali looking confused, and that was a way to carry it on. That would have been hilarious. You know what I mean? Like, I'm so proud of you type thing. You know what I mean? But they did it with Gulak, like, not throwing a tantrum, but like in shock. But see, that's the only thing I would have changed about it. Because like right now, I don't know where they're going to go with it. Booker T, if you're listening to our shows, tell someone in WWE our idea of him doing this with like a Luke Harper, like when big guys do dives to come out. Like, I love our idea that we've come up with over the weeks. I think that, God, it's got to happen. It's too perfect for that guy right now. It fits into with the Randy Orton controversies with the dives, and if it's the reality era, then do angles like that are based off your precious social media. Fucking do it, Harper and Gulak.
I could see Drew Gulak facing Finn Balor, Seth Rollins, a lot of them guys that take those risks. And shout out to Elias Sampson for starting that program with Finn Balor as well.
Shout out to Luke Harper, wrestling the WWE champion this week. They're getting him warmed up in ring shape for that Drew Gulak feud. They're listening. Booker T's telling him, Logan. I didn't hate the match. So it was a good match, but yeah, like it did feel like it was missing something else, and I don't know what that was. I don't know.
I think to get them to another like 8-9 minute match.
Here's the thing with Gulak: when you do this kind of gimmick, you need a stable behind you. I'm not saying you could have like a Shannon Moore, like you can have a shitty stable, you can have a great stable, but this I'm against something picket signs leader, at least Right to Censor was a stable. Maybe we can see guys added from the division they're not doing anything with. They could sprinkle in a fucking technician from the UK show, like the one Danny Burch, who I've talked about with, and I don't know if you're familiar with him from the UK tournament in NXT. He'd be a perfect fit because they're not doing anything with him. He's really talented. He's not getting any younger. He would be a great enforcer for a stable with Gulak. Like, I just feel like, and I'm not saying put them all in suit and ties. I'm just saying make a group, do something. There's no groups on 205 Live either, and I know that's not their thing, but they're like, they kind of want it both ways. The booking of it's like, well, we want to be taken serious. Well, no, you don't, because Alicia Fox is back this week on Skype again, but we'll get to that in a second. But it's like, just put a group on it. Who the fuck cares at this point? You've already squandered so much anyway. No one's watching the show. Do you think he could use a stable behind him?
I think he could be like another Right to Censor type stable. And I think it would work. I mean, Vince, you know how Vince is, and this is no shot on Vince, but Vince likes to pull random things from back in the old days, like this is my life, and I'm not trying to start it, but
yeah, it's like their whole if their whole basis on 205 Live airing after SmackDown is to save money, then if you're all about saving money, take some of these talented guys that you're fucking doing nothing with and just make a group on 205 Live. You're not going to lose anything. It can't get much worse.
I mean, it might add something for the future. It could even move on to the main roster if 205 Live does get canceled.
They're paying these guys to just fucking lift weights in the performance center and buy smoothies at their smoothie bars and that they have. And it's ridiculous. It's ridiculous. It's like I don't know. It's like they own a used car lot and they have these fucking cars. And in order to own it and sell a car at a lot professionally, you need to have it tested. All that bullshit. You need to test drive it. If you're not going to test people on television at least once, why do you even have the car in your lot? You know what I'm saying? Cut bait. You got to take risks sometimes. And don't give me that they're not ready shit. Dylan Miley, a guy we saw in NXT a couple weeks ago, who sticks out because Michael is a huge fan of his. He had something, and the fans in Full Sail in that episode saw it, and we saw it when we saw that, and we haven't seen him since. We haven't fucking seen him since. It's shit like that. It's like, Christ. Oh, let's
Yeah.
calm me down there, Logan. Let's get me not fired up. That's your
Don't get
gimmick.
fired up. Don't get fired up.
It's your gimmick, brother.
Don't gimmick infringe me now. Not again.
Apple polylogies. Go ahead.
But you mentioned earlier that Jack, after that match, Jack Gallagher and Austin Aries had that little backstage segment, and then we also had Rich Swann and TJP talk backstage, and I actually enjoyed that little segment as well.
The two best parts of this entire show was this segment and the match with these two guys. This was my favorite I've ever seen Perkins in a backstage vignette. I'm not saying he was awesome, but a lot better than he's ever done, in my opinion. And Rich Swann, excuse me, Logan. Rich Swann was tremendous in this. And yeah, it's something I noticed tonight in this segment and in the match later. Rich Swann does have this X factor about him, this intense look when he gets it serious. He has this look in his eyes, and it comes off on screen. I don't know if you caught that this week, and he did it a lot.
See, the main thing that I loved about this was the fact that last week on 205 Live we had it the other way around with
they flipped
Rich
it.
Swann talking to TJP, and then this week we have TJP talking to Rich Swann saying basically the same thing, and it works. I could see these two feuding.
You know why this works? It's simple. They're not doing a complex vignette with Noam Dar. I don't even want to talk about the Noam Dar segment. It was that bad. You know what I mean?
I don't even want to talk about it. I don't even think I have it written down, Travis.
You don't need writers putting Alicia Fox on. Obviously, you could see Noam Dar's thumb over the thing where you could tell it was a pre-taped video, whatever. But that made it horrible because it was all the shit. This was simple. It was back to basics. It was back to the future type shit. And old school at the end of the day, 9 times out of 10, if done respectably, always gets over. And this got over. This definitely got over. And of course, these guys can deliver in the ring.
I said it earlier in the show that simple works, and simple booking and simple creative writing is 10 times better than what you want to try to expand and do advanced creative writing. And this is storytelling that works, and it's just a backstage segment, and it worked.
A lot of people are going to hate on me for this, but, don't give a fuck. That's why I'm actually enjoying right now. I'm not in love with it. And this is all topic because of the No Michael thing possibly this week, so that's why I want to talk about it with you. Jinder Mahal and Randy Orton, I'm not hating this feud. I'm actually a little invested. I'm not going to lie. I'm behind Jinder. Like, I don't know. I'm pulling for him because he's the underdog. Because he was like a jobber for months and years.
And then another thing is that
he did pretty much call us all losers on Twitter. Did you see that in the news? That big, huge rant he put out? Holy shit. And he doesn't eat pizza.
Yeah. Yeah. And you remember the rumor that I told you on text messaging that Punjabi prison match is in the works to return at Battleground for Orton versus Mahal.
I talked to Maniac Matt about it. I talked to you and I talked to Maniac Matt about it in separate DMs. He's not excited about it. I'm looking forward to it because I think it's going to be way better than Great Khali, obviously. What do you think about it?
Anything's better than Great Khali.
Not that the theme music was awesome. Khali had better theme music than Jinder by far. The happy Khali music, not the evil Khali music. Like when he had Rajan Singh as his manager.
I think this works in a lot of ways. And a lot of people may not, I don't want to see this match. None of the matches before were good. Well, think about it. You can't just go with another regular one-on-one match between the two.
It's the blow-off. It needs to be. People are complaining about the gimmick. The blow-off is supposed to be the gimmick, guys. That's been wrestling for decades, and it works.
And maybe that's why I enjoy it so much. That's why I'm actually interested in. Why does Maniac Matt not like it?
He's not a fan of gimmick matches. I'm taking away from what he tells me. And I know he's not a big
But
fan of Orton.
but this is I'm not trying to get on his bad side, on Maniac Matt's
Well, hey,
bad side. I'm not
that's
trying
you
to.
guys. That's your co-host, not mine. He's mine on
Okay,
Union Smack, but this isn't about British wrestling, so
but
we're
at
good.
the end, but at the end of the day, Travis, this gimmick match, the reason why I'm so excited for it, it's not the same gimmick match that we've seen over and over, and it's been beaten like a dead horse,
And you know what?
like ladder matches and cage matches.
Yeah, you don't think it's a special
You
attraction
don't see it.
because you never see it. And I think they're going to do exactly what they did with the Elimination Chamber. They're gonna pussyfy it, dumb it down. You know how they put pads in the chamber now? It's not gonna be probably this gigantic structure like it used to be. It'll probably be like fucking 8 sticks around the ring. I don't know. And the Singh brothers, they're standing there. But it's to prevent the Singh brothers from interfering. More than likely, that usually means they're gonna interfere anyway. That's how it always goes in any kind of cage match in WWE. With you know what I mean? Like it's just how it is. It's
Yeah.
but
And
yeah, we'll
did
see.
you
We'll
know?
see. Look forward to it. Actually.
Speaking of gimmick matches and gimmick pay-per-views, did you notice that they have not announced Hell in a Cell because they might not be bringing back the Hell in a Cell pay-per-view?
I would be glad because it's too much. It's too much, man. It's not needed.
And they
That
might be
should not be a
replacing it.
pay-per-view.
I wouldn't mind. Okay, don't get me wrong. I wouldn't mind the Elimination Chamber coming back because I actually enjoyed the new chamber.
Yeah. Anyway, let's wrap up 205 Live because we do have two rumored guys coming to 205 Live to close out the show this week that we have a lot to talk about on that and some other tidbits. But Logan, yes, TJP and Rich Swann had this really good backstage encounter, you could say. Where did we go from here on the show this week? Was it into main event time next?
They showed a damn WWE 2K18 video.
Oh, dude. Okay, thank you for bringing that up. You saw the trailer, correct? For this year's game.
Yes, I enjoyed it very, very
Best trailer
much.
they've ever fucking done. By far. I will go on record as to say that. At first, because I had never seen it until I watched this episode 2 of I was like, what the fuck is going on? Who's it going to be? I was so like, and I thought maybe Rollins was like, no, the trailers are always the bigger names. And when it was revealed as Rollins, and see, people bitch about game trailers. That's the funny thing. Like, why are you guys complaining about it? But people were complaining it was Rollins. I'm like, I like that it was Rollins. I like that how they're promoting it as B as no one because like they don't need to rely on a Goldberg or something. It's putting a face of this era out there mainstream more, and I thought that was good. And god damn, he like for those that haven't seen it, go check it out. Like he destroys everything in like the
You know,
warehouse. Oh my
you
god.
know, Travis, you know how big of a fan Brandon is of Seth Rollins.
I do not, but I do now because I don't know Brandon that well.
That's his favorite wrestler, tenfold. When he got injured, Brandon almost cried. I'm not gonna lie, he almost cried. When I sent the video and Brandon woke up and
I'm
watched
sure
it,
he
and he was like,
appreciates that too. I'm sure he appreciates you saying that live on air that he almost cried about it.
"Oh well." I mean, come on now. I mean, your favorite wrestler, I would cry too. I'm not gonna lie. Uh, But what I'm trying to say is when he found out at the end of the video that it was Seth Rollins, he's like, that smile, like that evil looking smile. It reminded me so much of when Austin Aries lost to Neville and he gave that weird looking, creepy smile.
Yeah, it was good. It was well done. Very well done. Guys,
Great,
go out of your
great
way to check
video.
it out. Um,
I think everybody was pissed off about the fact that Undertaker's not on it, that
on the
he's not the
cover.
cover.
I think at next year's Mania, we're gonna all be takered out. In my opinion, might be a hint to who may be going in the Hall of Fame. Uh, Logan, where were we at on 205 Live this week?
We are at the main event, and one of the best main events by far
Go
I've
ahead,
seen.
you take it because I know how hyped you are to talk about this match.
This match was fucking insane. And this is why I try to get so many people invested in 205 Live. And I try to get Brandon to watch it. He's I'm not into the cruiserweight division. I think they're boring. This match
Was not. It was
showed
awesome. This match was awesome.
this match almost reminded, like, I actually might remember this match like an Eddie Guerrero versus Rey Mysterio.
Do you know
Because it good.
this had one of the greatest super kicks I've ever seen because it looked like an actual fucking kick. There wasn't tapping of feet. There wasn't like, you know what I'm saying? It was out of nowhere, but the way Neville sold that super, you know what I'm talking about in this match.
It looked like you fucking stun gunned him, like
It
you
looked like he
literally
got it.
fucking
He had
tased
a
his ass.
fucking aneurysm to his brain as it and he. Oh my god! Some of the best work I've ever seen at taking that move. Like we talked about the eyes of Rich Swann, the intensity of Rich Swann in this match is. This may be the best, besides the match he beat Kendrick for the title, the best match I've seen Swann have in this company.
And I'm gonna go on air and say this right now. I think Neville helps everyone. I think Neville pushes everyone, and I
Logan,
think that's what
wait.
helps.
We're gonna see where we're at on the same page. This has to happen every couple episodes. On the count of three, we're gonna say our top guy, and on 205 Live right now. 1, 2, 3. Neville. Fuck, where are you, Logan? Are you there?
Hey,
What?
yeah, I'm here.
Would you have said Neville?
Remember, I said Neville at the same time as you, but mine is always just a couple seconds late.
God damn me, I'm so dumb. But yes, it's Neville by far.
My bad.
It's 6 episodes in. We're not gonna do it. We're not gonna do it. We're gonna restrain from our affection for Neville as a performer right now. The best in the division. If I were to be on in that mind of guys, go out of your way to you've got to watch 205 Live. It deserves some weeks. This match is one of the best matches I've ever seen in the cruiserweight division since they started it. By far,
Super.
since the tournament, it's up there with some of the best tournament matches from last year. Go out of your way to watch this match. For real. Fucking do it. Logan, anything else you want? Like you want to how the match flow and the finish? Go ahead.
Like I want to just say one more thing about that super kick. When Rich Swann hit that super kick and Neville sold it, it looked like Neville was like he had no feeling in his whole fucking body.
I'm gonna. This is
Like he
gonna
was.
sound gross. This is gonna sound gross. It kind of looked like he was having an orgasm when he was laying down. That part he overdid it for a second. I was like, that's weird. Like the I don't know. Go ahead. You know what
But
I
he
mean?
sold it. He kind of sold it like Devon Dudley did back in the
Yeah.
day.
Oh my God, Devon shook so much. Like you remember when Hogan would like have convulsions sometimes? Like Devon would do that, but he'd do it for like 2 minutes straight and he wouldn't stop. It was so bad.
It was so. But
Oh
no,
man.
Rich Swann, like so many counters, so many leapfrogs and just so much greatness into this match, and it just told a story, and that's one thing. You just throw in a this was a random match. It wasn't even promoted until right when 205 Live came on, and they said this is going to be the match that tonight, and I was looking forward to both the matches before this because it was hyped up for a whole week, and they fell flat, and then something that was just thrown in there just got my attention just like that. And that's bad. That's terrible.
Yeah. All right. Well, that obviously it seemed like Rich Swann. And by the way, we said at the top of the show the crowd was so invested in this match by the end of it, Logan. That it's such a nod to the work that these guys did in the match to bring a dead crowd like this on their feet, and they did. The crowd was behind every near fall by the end of it. Um, Neville obviously getting the rings of Saturn. Rich Swann tapping out. A comeback win from Neville because Rich Swann pretty much dominated, except for what was it? He went up top, and it cost him. He got Neville got the knees up. Is that what it was? Too many high risk maneuvers.
He went for the crap.
Phoenix
I
splash.
should have it. Yeah, he went for the Phoenix Splash and he missed it, and then Neville put in the Rings of Saturn.
Yeah, I love that they call it the rings of Saturn. I know we've said that before, but it's a good nod to Perry. Shout out to Perry. Great match. And then of course we didn't even mention the match was this good. We didn't even mention kind of the part about it. Akira Tozawa made his entrance first in a suit. Fucking business, Tozawa. He kind of seemed like he was running for office because he was so friendly with the kids at ringside and smiling. Had his own setup, like a movie theater setup, and it was class. I didn't hate it. At least they didn't take it over the top. He did just sit there and looked intense. But I'm bringing that up because at the end of the match, Neville had a stare down with Tozawa, and they're going with it. They're pulling the trigger. I'm so excited for that matchup when it happens, and I think it's going to be a case of I'm not minding the affiliation with Titus right now because I think Tozawa's going to have enough eventually, and they're going to split him up. Tozawa's going to just like kick him in the head because be like enough is enough, and then people are going to cheer. And I think by the time they have the first match, I think Titus is going to be his manager or whatever, and it's going to cost Tozawa. And then they're going to have a rematch, and I think before the rematch, Tozawa will have turned, and by the second rematch, it'll be serious Tozawa. And that match is the match we'll be praising, and I'm guessing around SummerSlam or September, we'll be reviewing that. So, what did you think about where it's going with Tozawa?
This is the only time I'm going to really bitch, Travis, okay?
Good. That's why we're here. You didn't get fired up this week. It's never too late.
I'm not gonna get fired up. I'm gonna be good today. I'm just gonna be honest with you.
But it's so good to be bad, Logan.
Look at it. Just the okay. Maybe I will get fired up. Just
you
tiny
still
bit.
are. You still are a slam pig. At the end of the day, you are on Team Slam Pigs. You're a part of it. So you know what we do here.
No, Tozawa should not be in this little. I don't know what you want to call it. This thing with Titus, because look at it in my way. He didn't want anything to do with the Brian Kendrick as his mentor, but he wants Titus O'Neil to be his mentor. Like they're trying to put,
Yeah, but that goes to whining and dining him. Titus O'Neil gives him like Cristal and these comfy seats. What's Brian Kendrick going to give him? He's going to give him some incense and some guitar lessons. Fucking, you know what I mean? I don't know. I'm just playing around. Yeah, it's dumb. We all know this does not need Titus O'Neil. I think everyone's in agreement, and no one would disagree. If you disagree with that, you probably are on the writing team for WWE. You know?
Not all against it because it's different. It's working. I just don't like seeing Titus O'Neil as a face. That's kind of how he comes off as. I think I actually like the fact that what he said to Neville on Raw. We should mention that.
Good.
The way he promo.
Go ahead.
Saying beat your ass, little guy.
Logan, you getting sleepy?
You hear me?
No, you're breaking up. I thought you were getting sleepy.
No. I was talking. Can you hear me good now?
Yeah, you were talking. Well, you're loud now. You might want to adjust your mic situation there.
Oh, sorry.
There you go. There you go. Crystal clear.
I must have been in a bad spot. My apologies.
Well, get a good spot, Logan. What are you doing? We're live here on Habiki TMD. Real quick.
Get comfortable here.
Logan, let's go ahead because we are overtime right now. We've gone over an hour. Let's go ahead and wrap up and grade the episode because we have so much to talk about as far excitement of who's coming to 205 Live possibly. Go ahead, Logan. What did you think of this week's episode, and what would you give it a final grade?
I'm going to give it a B.
Favorite part, obviously, being the main event. I'm in agreement. Solid. I'm going to give it a B minus because I'm not a fan of the Titus storyline. I hated the Alicia Fox segment, and I as much as I love the trailer for WWE, we already pay $10 a month for the network. We could watch that trailer on YouTube. I hate fucking commercials on streaming services as it is, and I don't mean to be a grumpy old man, but
what I was trying to say before is Titus O'Neil, the promo that he did against Neville and kind of hyping up Tozawa, it kind of wasn't bad. What do you think about that?
I'm just saying the time that they throw these pointless commercials in for the network could be used for extending matches, just more. And
like I said,
you know,
like the first two matches, it felt like, oh, that's it.
Neville and I'm sorry, Jack Gallagher and Nice could have been on SmackDown or main event. That was the kind of time it was given. You know what I mean?
Most definitely.
in a nothing throwaway warm the crowd up match to open a fucking main event show or something. It wasn't given any time to it. Hopefully we see these guys get more time, especially Gallagher and Nice, man, because they're way better than that. But that's what we got on this week's episode. Logan, real quick, couple guys. Finally, let's talk about coming to 205 Live. One of these guys has a familiar theme. You've been looking at him all week, on all show, I should say, on the episode. But let's take a little listen here to possible storm brewing, you could say, Logan. It's late, so the bad jokes will come.
Back, there's a hurricane coming through.
That's right, Hurricane Helms. Gregory Helms in talks. Is he back? Did he sign? You're the one that dropped this on me.
No, he did not sign. He is officially leaving Impact Wrestling as a producer. As of what I read, that he still has to work out his contract, work the rest of his contract out. I think it ends at the end of this month. On social media, he mentioned that he is looking at 205 Live, and then he mentioned Vince McMahon used to tell me back in the day that I was probably one of the best cruiserweight champions that they ever had. So, could this be a return of Shane Helms
with 3
Gregory
count?
Helms?
What if they brought him back with 3 count with Shannon Moore and Evan Courageous, and they found all those guys and they brought him back as that? Oh
that
my
would
God.
be.
But
Travis?
I would think Vince is referring to, it was what, 2006, Gregory Helms, when he was Cruiserweight Champion for like a year or so?
Yes.
Like Vince's creation, of course, because he gave him music and they gave him new music. WWE version of Gregory Helms. Better than Sugar Shane Helms, would you say, from WCW?
Yeah, way, way better.
If he comes back, do you think they'd put him in ring, or would they put him more of a talent agent, backstage, and advisor at the performance center, so to speak, coach? I think he could still go. Obviously, he's still young enough, and I don't see why you wouldn't at least put a young guy over on him. Put Mustafa Ali out there. Let him beat Mustafa Ali. Hell, why not?
I think it could be great for the division, but there's only a couple questions. Who would he come back as?
I think
would
obviously.
Would he come back as Hurricane?
I think you got to do Hurricane, man. You can't, or you have him come back as Gregory Helms at first, okay? And of course, they need storylines for guys like this or whatever to get them over in their eyes every time, not just in ring. So they could play it out. When will he turn Hurricane? I don't know if Hurricane can be taken serious enough of a character, like a Finn Balor demon, to wonder when he will come out like that. I would just make him come out as Hurricane. Why wouldn't you do that? You know?
I could easily see him come in and feud with Neville for the Cruiserweight Champion if Cedric doesn't get pushed because of the reaction that he's been getting lately.
Yeah, but how does that make a guy like Cedric Alexander look, though, that you're trying to build up as the future, if a guy that hasn't been in the company and was never that serious of a character to begin with, if he would be the one to beat Neville? Or would you just let Neville beat him? Be like, oh, he had a good match. It was good to see Hurricane out there.
It'd just be good to see him come back maybe as like the backstage segment. Like, remember when he was like a reporter? What's up with that?
Yeah.
And don't forget the other guy that we failed to mention that might be coming into the division since the breakup with Big Cass, Enzo.
Yeah, that's actually the first I'm hearing that when you told me that right before we went on the show. I haven't seen that yet.
And here's my opinion on that subject. After the heel turn of Big Cass, which we all know Big Cass going forward, everybody sees money in him. And that heel promo that he did on Raw was one of his best. I could see Enzo being on 205 Live. I think he could be a very good player, a very good wrestler in 205 Live. I think people might actually watch 205 Live to see Enzo on there.
I have no interest in seeing Enzo Amore 205 Live. None. I don't think he fits. He's an entertainer at the end of the day, and if they want 205 Live to be this in their vision, this taken serious, this don't blink or you'll miss it type thing, he's not very good in the ring.
But how would you push? Where would you put him at then? Now that he's gone with Big Cat.
In 205 Live, where would I cast Enzo Amore? Honestly, I have no clue. I don't see a guy that he could affiliate with that fits off the top of my head. Maybe a Noam Dar, but that would be kind of a shitty throwaway feud, and I would put Dar over him in the end. So I'm just not a huge fan of Enzo on his own. I'm not a huge fan of the split, and I will get into that this week on regular Slam Pigs. I'm going to save that, Logan, because my God, it's...
That's fine.
Let's just take... okay, here's a sneak peek. Let's just take our money, Vince, and rip it up into shreds and set it on fire. That's how I feel on what they're doing on splitting up that team. But...
So, they took the women's champion and threw it in the trash can.
They didn't do that. Like Lunger Blaze did that in another company. Oh, you're talking about...
I'm saying, as an example, that's what they're doing.
Gotcha. Logan, other than that, yeah, man, this week, look for a new Union Smack. With myself and Maniac Matt Tennant, we're going to be checking out the very first No Mercy show, Logan, which wasn't in the United States. It was in England, 1999, a lot of corporate ministry. But Logan, I am.
That sounds like a good plan. You should talk to Maniac Matt about having me on one episode. It would be nice to have me on.
Well, I want to talk about future wrestling podcasts, Logan, on the horizon. You and Matt, your show. They've been looking at the logo all episode. I'm excited to see you guys started up here in in about a week or so. You guys are going to get things kicked off here.
Hopefully soon. I love the logo that you made us. I appreciate the help that you're in the sponsorship and the. Thank you for everything, Travis.
No problem, man. Thank you for doing this once again live, Logan. Before we get out of here, they can all check the Future Wrestling Podcast out now. You got something else to plug? Where can they find you guys on Facebook? I know that just dropped this week.
You can check us out on Facebook at Future of Wrestling Podcast. And you can also find us on YouTube as Future of Wrestling Podcast. Subscribe for us for future when we start picking up the podcast and getting it set up. Maniac Matt's excited. Our format's going to be awesome. We're going to start out with Future Wrestling Podcast is just coming. I'm excited.
All right, man. And we'll look for that. Hey, man, thank you for doing this. Like I said, one more time live, real quick. Follow me on Twitter at TheHibickyTMD. Check out Slam Pigs Union Smack. Check out Slam Pigs Podcast, the reset button, and everything else. Logan, until next week, man, have a good one. I will see you on episode 7. Stay cruising. Or bruising. I don't know.
Thank you for having me, Travis, like normal. And check me out on Twitter at Logan Myers 144.